made this mistake, your friends might be making this mistake, maybe even you too. It's called the planning fallacy, and it's actually a pretty common phenomenon. In 1979, Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky defined the planning fallacy as this tendency for us to underestimate how long it takes to complete tasks, even if we've completed those tasks previously. And I just recently experienced this on the 4th of July. My husband and I were hosting a party, and our house was a train wreck because we had gotten so far behind on cleaning. So we came up with this plan for the day, everything that needed to get done, and we estimated how long we thought it would take to get done. And we were doing okay up until about noon. We realized that we were so far behind because we had completely underestimated how long each of the tasks were going to take. And unfortunately, by the end of the day, we didn't get everything done that we wanted to get done. We wanted to clean out Andrew's office, and people were already arriving by the time we got to the point where we could have started that. So unfortunately, we didn't have a buffer system scheduled into our day, but if we had, we could have avoided that. In a 1994 study by Dr. Roger Buehler, 37 students were asked to predict how long it would take for them to complete their senior theses. There were 3 scenarios that they had to predict. The first one was how many days would it take if everything went completely as planned. There were no hang-ups, and they predicted that it would take 27.4 days. The next scenario was if everything went wrong and they fell behind. They predicted that it would take them 48.6 days in that scenario. And then finally they were asked, how long will it actually take to complete this? And they said 33.9 days. In reality though, it actually took them 55.5 days to complete on average, which is over a week what they predicted if everything had gone completely wrong. When construction started on the Sydney Opera House, it was predicted to be completed by the year 1963 and to cost a total of $7 million. However, in reality, it wasn't completed until 1973, 10 years late, and the total cost was $102 million. And it's not like we aren't aware that we have this issue either. In the book Essentialism by Greg McKeown, he mentions that people, even while they admit that they have this tendency to underestimate, they are simultaneously believing that their estimates are accurate when they are actually inaccurate. But what is causing this to happen to us? One study found that this phenomenon disappears when social pressure is taken away. When participants were given the opportunity to answer anonymously, they suddenly had this ability to accurately estimate how long tasks would take, which means that we deep down actually know how long it's going to take. We just don't want to admit it to others. When we fall prey to the planning fallacy, we are not only overscheduling ourselves, which can lead to this overwhelming feeling of disappointment in ourselves, but we're also more prone to missing deadlines and being late to meetings, and all of these factors are increasing our overall stress levels. What can we do about it though? In order to counteract the planning fallacy, we can build buffers into our days. Greg McKeown, the author of Essentialism, recommends that we plan in about 50% buffers into our day. So for example, if you think it's going to take you 30 minutes to go grocery shopping, he recommends that you plan in 45 minutes for that trip so that you don't fall behind. But if 50% is too much for you, then maybe you want to try out 20% or some other percentage. Try out different things until you figure out what works for you. And if you time block in your planner, this is especially important because time blocking is a very rigid and structured way of planning out our days, and buffers are extremely helpful in that scenario. But what if you finish early and you've added this time in for buffers, but now you have nothing to do? Well, I generated a list of things that I can work on so I can continue to be productive throughout the day. So these are things that don't take a lot of time to do, like responding to emails or responding to comments on my YouTube channel or Instagram, catching up, maybe reading a book that I have been wanting to read for a while for self-improvement, or listening to a Bible study podcast. There are a lot of different things that we can fit into this extra time so that we can continue to be productive throughout the day and work towards achieving our goals. If we track where our time is going throughout the week, then we can figure out how long certain tasks take and also more efficiently use our time. I made a printable which has a time tracker, and when I did this activity, I was shocked as to how much time I was spending on social media. And so I decided to cut back after doing that. But I will link that video down below for you if you want to try out that free printable. And finally, you could time yourself doing activities that you commonly do so you can get a better idea of how long it's going to take. And I did this when I created the how long does it take insert, which I have a video for. I timed myself making the bed and emptying the dishwasher and taking out the trash, so that I can get a better idea of how long those tasks actually take, so that when I'm planning out my day, I can be more realistic with my time so I can get everything done that I need to get done. And maybe that means that I need to start preparing for something a few days before I would have. Life is full of the unexpected. We get sick, we get stuck in traffic, our dishwasher breaks. But if we build in a buffer system, then we can more realistically schedule our days so that we don't get overwhelmed and give up completely. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye!
I want to be there and baby dance the night away. I let my head down if I won. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you.